UFC Fight Night Lewis vs. Teixeira took place on July 12th at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. The event brought in $2.2 million at the gate, as well as sponsorships, merchandise sales, and potential site fees that can range from the millions to tens of millions. Not to mention the UFC's broadcasting deal with ESPN, which pulls north of $300 million a year. But how big of a slice did the fighters take home? The Tennessee Athletic Commission does not disclose fighter pay information, so while Venom sponsorship and fight bonuses are released, the purses are based on disclosed earnings from previous events. And if you stick around until the end, I'll reveal how much the channel made from the last video. With that said, let's jump into the first fight.
Every fighter that's under contract, if you want to tell the media what you're paid, that's up to you.
Kicking off the main card, Tuco Tokkos dominated the first round of Junior Tafa's light heavyweight debut by demonstrating his superior wrestling. The crowd's boos got louder as the round progressed, but in the final seconds, Tafa reversed position and opened a cut on the top of Tokkos' head. He continued that momentum into the second, landing a massive right hand that staggered Tokkos, but a minute later, the fight was back on the ground with Tuco in control. He maintained top position for nearly the entire round, and with 30 seconds left, locked in an arm triangle choke for the submission win. Tafa brought home around $48,000 to show, as well as $6,000 in Venom sponsorship, also known as Fight Week incentive, for $54,000 on the night. While Tokkos on his third fight and first win in the UFC earned $12,000 to show and $12,000 for the win, $4,000 in sponsorship, and a total of $28,000. In the second fight, Vitor Petrino caught the kick of his heavyweight opponent Austen Lane, taking him to the ground and quickly maneuvering to full mount. He started hunting for the arm triangle choke early and almost got it at one point, but Lane was able to defend enough to stay alive. That is until Petrino started teeing off from the top, forcing Lane to give up his back and allowing Petrino to lock in a short choke. Lane fought the hands initially, but in the end was forced to tap, handing Vitor Petrino the first round victory. Lane made a projected $26,000 to show, along with $6,000 in sponsorship pay, for a total of $32,000. While Petrino in his first fight at heavyweight brought in $52,000 to show, along with $52,000 for the win and $6,000 in sponsorship, taking home an estimated $110,000. In the third fight, Tennessee's own Nate Landwehr took on the Frenchman Morgan Charrière. At the start of the contest, Charrière's speed allowed him to land leg kicks and stay just out of range of Landwehr's strikes, but Nate started to find moments to connect with his hands. In the second, Nate's timing looked much better, and he tagged Charrière consistently throughout the round. Looking to continue that momentum, he came out hot in the final round, but a right hand by Charrière stunned the crowd and kicked off a devastating combination that culminated in a left hook that dropped Landwehr to the canvas and delivered Morgan Charrière the knockout victory. Despite the loss, Landwehr pulled an estimated $75,000 to show, along with $6,000 in sponsorship pay and a $50,000 fight of the night bonus for $131,000 on the night. Meanwhile, Charrière earned around $28,000 to show and $28,000 for the win, as well as $4,500 in Venom sponsorship and his $50,000 bonus for $110,500 on the night. In the fourth fight of the night, Steve Garcia put the pressure on early against fellow featherweight Calvin Kattar. He brought the fight to Kattar in a first round that saw him dominate the output. The discrepancy continued in the second as Garcia smothered Kattar with his forward movement. In the final round, Garcia dropped Kattar with a left hand and continued to pick Calvin apart for the final minutes in a one-sided performance that earned Steve Garcia the unanimous decision victory. Kattar, now on a 5-fight losing skid, pulled around $110,000 to show, along with $11,000 in Venom sponsorship, taking his total to $121,000. While Garcia, on his 9th fight with the promotion and second on his current contract, made $54,000 to show and $54,000 for the win, $6,000 in sponsorship, and a total of $114,000. In the welterweight co-main event, Gabriel Bonfim targeted the lead leg of Stephen Thompson early before securing a takedown midway through the first round. He managed to take Wonderboy's back and threatened with a face crank, but Thompson shook him off and brought the fight back to the feet. In the second, Thompson's takedown defense held strong as he blasted Bonfim with a left kick to the noggin near the end of the round, following up with strikes that left his opponent on wobbly legs. Sporting a nasty cut on his power leg heading into the final frame, Wonderboy continued to throw hit, along with the rest of his striking arsenal, to great effect. Bonfim leaned on his wrestling in the closing minutes, but didn't do much more than hold Thompson against the cage. It was a close, hard-fought bout, but the judges' scorecards revealed a split decision victory for Gabriel Bonfim. Thompson's purse was more or less confirmed to be $250,000 by Dana White after Thompson dropped out of his fight against Michel Pereira at UFC 291, meaning he earned $250,000 to show, as well as the maximum non-championship $21,000 in sponsorship, coming out to $271,000 on the night. While Bonfim took home around $45,000 to show and $45K for the win, along with $6,000 in sponsorship, for an estimated $96,000. Only 7% of the people watching this video are subscribers, so if you're enjoying the content and want to keep up with all the latest videos, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And in the main event of the evening, Brendan Fitzgerald described it best: absolute chaos for less than a minute. Derrick Lewis did it again and TKO'd his opponent Tallison Teixeira in the very first round. It was a bit of a weird stoppage as the fight was called as Teixeira was just getting back up to his feet, but there's no denying the left hook that toppled him. After the initial blow, Lewis pounced, delivering ungodly right hands to a grounded Teixeira. One way or another, the referee saw enough, and Derrick Lewis would extend his UFC knockout record and take home another highlight reel KO win. In just his second fight with the UFC, Tallison Teixeira would normally be on the standard entry-level contract, but considering he's already headlining an event, I'd have to think he signed a new deal after his first round knockout of Justin Tafa at UFC 312. Second contracts start in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, so I bumped it up a bit more for an estimate of $35,000 to show. I assume he also got a 25% increase for being in the 5-round main event, translating to roughly $9,000, as well as $4,000 in sponsorship, putting Teixeira at $48,000 on the night. And for the winner Derrick Lewis, it was reported by John Nash that back in 2022, Lewis's contract guaranteed him nearly $1 million per fight, even putting him above some champions. Then in 2024, he signed a lucrative new deal in which he credited Francis Ngannou's departure for helping him with the negotiations. Without having those numbers, I'd estimate at least a $1 to $2 million purse, along with $21,000 in sponsorship pay, for a grand total of $1,521,000. And last but not least, my video on UFC 317 got over 52,000 views as of this posting, translating to $152.84. Corrections to the numbers I've shown will be listed in a pinned comment below. That's all for this episode. As always, thanks for watching. See you next week for UFC 318, Poirier vs Holloway 3.